Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to study a poem which expresses the power of nature. Whenever we become very sad or our mood gets become pensive, we wanted to go to a peaceful place or a lonely place and have some time with ourselves. Similarly, we are going to study a poem written by William Wordsworth in which we'll see the power of nature and how the poet was lonely and going to see that how the poet was impressed by thousands of golden daffodils when he was very alone and felt very lonely. The poem is Daffodils. The poem is Daffodils written by William Wordsworth. This poem has 4 stanzas. Before we are going to study the text of this poem, let's discuss about the main theme or the summary of the poem. One day, William Wordsworth was very lonely and he was wandering like a lonely cloud. As the clouds are lonely, floats over the hills and valleys. Similar way, William Wordsworth was wandering lonely like the clouds. But suddenly, from the top of the hills, he found a group of golden daffodils. And he was completely amazed by the beauty of these golden daffodils. He saw the golden daffodils beside the trees near the lake. And the golden daffodils flowers were fluttering and dancing with the breeze. And their heads were tossing up also with the help of the breeze. The beauty of the nature, the beauty of that golden daffodil flowers impressed the poet very much. For the poet, the beauty of the golden daffodils was very much surprising and amazed. Beside the lake, the golden daffodils were dancing and the waves of the lakes also dancing with the help of the breeze. But for the poet, the power of the dancing moves of the golden daffodils outdid or defeated the beauty of the waves of the lakes. For the poet, he said that such a beautiful scenery of that beautiful nature could impress everyone, every poet. Such a cheerful, joker company, group of flowers could impress anyone and every poet, and or we can say every person in this earth. To see such kind of beauty of the nature easily get impressed and get very much excited. Similar thing happens to the poet also. To the poet, the beauty of these golden daffodils for him was a treasure or a wealth for him, which will he cherished for lifetime. In the last stanza of the poem, the poet also said that whenever he became very pensive or his mood became very sad and he was lying in a couch or anywhere in his home or house, the scenery or the images of the dancing golden daffodils will flashes upon in his inward eye. Inward eye means into his heart or mind. And when this beauty of these golden daffodil flowers flashes into his mind, he became very much happy and forgot all the sadness and he became completely happy. This is the main theme or the summary of the golden daffodil. This is the main theme or summary of the poem Daffodils written by William Wordsworth. Let's study the text from the book and explain line by line. The poem has 4 stanzas. Let's start with first stanzas. I wandered lonely as a cloud that flows on high over vales and hills. Here I refer to the poet. He said that he was wandering like a lonely cloud. Wandered means, the meaning of wandered is that move around. That means the poet was moving around like a lonely cloud. That flows on high over vales and hills, Floats means is carried along, vale means valley. Floats mean to carry along, like the clouds are floating over the hills and valley. Similar way, the poet was also floating over the hills and vales like the clouds. When all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils. Suddenly, the poet saw a crowd, that means a group of host of golden daffodils. He found a golden daffodil flowers. Beside the lake, beneath the trees, beside the lake, he saw the golden daffodil flowers beside the lake near the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. And the condition of the flowers was that the flowers also moving around or dancing, fluttering meaning the moving with quick, light movements. That means the flowers also moving brightly and dancing with the help of the breeze. Then comes to the second stanza. Continuous as the stars that shine and twinkle on the Milky Way. Here the poet compared the golden daffodils with the stars that were shining, twinkling in the sky continuously. Similar way, the golden daffodil flowers also shining and twinkling with the help of the breeze. They stretched in never-ending line along the margin of a bay. For the poet, the flowers stretched along the margin of bay, and there was no ending. Everywhere the poet saw, there were only one thing, that is golden daffodil flowers. There was no ending. 10,000 saw I at a glance, tossing their heads in sprightly dance. Here the poet was in illusion. For him, that he was guessing maybe that he saw at once 10,000 golden daffodil flowers that were tossing. The flowers were tossing their head and they were dancing brightly. Let's come to the third stanza. The waves beside them danced, but they outdid the sparkling waves in glee. That means the waves of the lakes, also dancing with the help of breeze, but the dancing move. A poet could not outdid the sparkling waves in glee, but the dancing move of the golden daffodils outdid. That means outdid. That means suppressed or defeated the beauty of the waves. A poet could not but be gay in such a jocund company. Here the William Wordsworth wanted to say that a poet like him could not control his emotion to see such kind of beauty of nature. I guessed in such a jocund company. Jocund means joyful or cheerful. Jocund means cheerful or joyful. That means the golden daffodils flowers were very cheerful and they were dancing brightly with the help of breeze. I guessed and guessed, but little thought what wealth the show to me had brought. And the poet was mesmerized, amazed to see such kind of beauty, and he said he was gazing and gazing at the flowers. And for him, it was a wealth which he will be cherished for the lifelong time. Let's come to the fourth stanza. For often when on my couch I lie in vacant or in pensive mood. That means here I refer to the poet William Wordsworth. When the William Wordsworth, the poet, would be in a pensive mood or in a vacant mood, that means he would have nothing to do, or in a saddened mood, the image of the beautiful golden daffodil flowers will flashes upon in his inward eye, that means his mind or into his heart, and which is the bliss of solitude, that solitude with pain, sadden. That means, and he will forget all his saddest things and he will become happy. And then my heart with pleasure fills and dances with the daffodils. And when he became completely happy after the golden daffodil flowers images were flashes into his inward eye, he became happy and his mind also will be dancing with the golden daffodil flowers. This is the main poem or the text of Daffodils by William Wordsworth. Now let's discuss about some figure of speech, important figure of speech mentioned in the poem. At first, personification. Personification. What is the meaning of personification? Personification, person. That means when some qualities or features of human being are referred or described with some natural elements or natural objects. That means the things or those things which actually are related with the human beings, but in the line those things are related or referred or described or by the some natural elements or natural objects, then the figure of speech will be personification. Number one example, the line, the waves beside them danced. And beside them means daffodils. Wave beside them, the waves beside the daffodils, the wave of the lake were dancing. The quality of dancing is naturally related to the quality of dancing is naturally related to the human beings. But here the dancing was referred to the waves, which is a natural element. So this is the example of personification. Number two, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. Here the daffodil flowers characteristics have been described. They were fluttering and dancing, but the fluttering and the dancing are the quality of human beings. So the quality of human beings are referred with the natural objects, that is the golden daffodil flowers. So this is the example of personification. Let's come to the next figure of speech, that is simile. What is simile? Simile is a figure of speech where a direct or direct comparison is made between two objects or elements. Here the line, I wandered lonely as a cloud. Here a direct comparison was made between the I, that is the poet, and the cloud. The poet is also moving like also moving over the hills and vales, like the clouds moving or floats above the hills and vales. So this is a direct comparison made between the poet I here and the cloud. So this is an example of simile. Next, hyperbole. Hyperbole, what is hyperbole? Hyperbole means when something has to be exaggerated, when something is described or told in a more exaggerative way, or give to show some more importance. This is called exaggeration. To show something exaggeration, more exaggerative way, to give more importance in the line, that is called a hyperbole. Example, the 10,000 saw I at a glance. How can be one can guessing or counting the number of flowers he was watching from such a top of the hills? That is impossible. But the poet seemed to be was an illusion, and he guessed that the number of golden daffodils may be 10,000. To give some more importance, he exaggerated to these lines. So this is the example of hyperbole. Next, come to the figure of speech, that is alliteration. Alliteration means the same words or the same letter of the words are repeated again and again, maybe 2 times or 3 times or more than that in a sentence or line. That is the example of alliteration. Let's find it. Here the word high and the word hills. The hills, the word, the H, the letter of hills, and the H, the letter of high. The H are repeated in these 2 sentences, in the high and also in the hills. So this is an example of alliteration. So this is the summary of the poem and the text and some important figure of speech of this poem Daffodils, written by William Wordsworth. So keep studying and keep learning. Take care.